Yeah, guys. Hi. Good evening. So, guys, today we have a first session for this Azure 900. So, this batch is going to continue from 900 to 104. So, this is the first initial 5 days topic which we are going to cover. And I'm audible, guys.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. So, Anrudra, over to you. You can continue with this. So, we decided to go for first initial 5 days with these topics. Guys, the people who's watching on YouTube, they can enroll for this program. Today's session is live on YouTube, and rest all is the people who gonna enroll for this program. They are getting access to this, and later on, this batch is gonna continue for AZ 104. Correct, Anrudra?
Yep, you're
Yeah.
right.
So over to you, Anrudra. You can continue with the session.
Sure. Thank you, sir. Okay, then. So let me just share my screen. All right. Hope everyone can hear me and see my screen as well. Just a second. All right. All good, guys? Can you hear me? Yes, no?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. Good evening, everyone. This is 𝐊𝐢𝐧𝐠𝐬. I am the your trainer for Azure AZ900 and AZ104. So this is the 5 days workshop. Okay, so 1 hour each, Monday to Friday, and we will cover this as a prerequisite for our AZ104. So before we move on, a little bit of introduction about me. I am a cloud engineer, and I am five times certified by Azure, so Microsoft, including AZ104, which is Microsoft Certified Azure Administrator Associate, as well as SC300, which is Microsoft Certified Identity and Access Administrator. Okay, so like I said, this is a 5 days workshop, and we are covering 1 hours every day, so 5 hours in total. And then we will cover the, all the things you need to know about before beginning to the course of AZ104, which is Azure Administrator. Okay, so this is a prerequisite for that. Okay, so content for today would be we're going to first understand like what is cloud computing, all right, and then we will see what is Microsoft Azure, why do we want to choose it, right? There are majority of cloud providers, so why do we want to choose this in particular? All right, then we will see what are the certifications path you can go with Azure, right? So with AZ900, which one do you want to go with? After that, which one you want to specialize in? So stuff like that. And finally, we will just start with today's topic, which would be cloud concept. So we will understand the cloud from basics, all right? And then we will continue and build upon that. So, what is cloud in
Sorry to
general?
cut you off, sir. Just a quick question. This is for
Yeah.
AZ104, right?
First 5 days is AZ900 totally, okay? And it is like serving as a prerequisite for AZ104, which will start from next week.
Okay, so this week we'll be doing AZ900 and next week. Okay, next week we'll be doing the AZ.
And that's a prerequisite. However, if in case we are starting directly 104 also, so these topics should be covered in that.
Yeah. So this is just like getting everybody on the same page. So once we are doing the administrative stuff, so at least a little bit of basics, everybody should know like what is Azure and stuff like that. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay then. So first, let's discuss like what is cloud computing, right? So if anybody of you who want to volunteer or just share your knowledge about cloud, that would be great. If not, I'm already gonna make you understand anyways. So if anybody is interested to share their knowledge or share their thoughts, what do you understand by cloud, or even if you're completely new, that's fine. Okay, I'm gonna wait for like a couple more seconds. Anyone? No? All right. Okay, no worries. So I'll discuss. So what is cloud computing, basically? So cloud is nothing but, we can say, like infrastructure and services we can access over the internet. Okay. So let's say in traditional environment, how things go. Just go to white screen. So in traditional environment, how things go is we have locations, right? Where we will have our data centers, right? And in data centers, we would have our infrastructure. Okay. So we would have servers there, we would have firewalls, we would have routing devices, we would have security related devices, maybe VPN, etc. Right. And in this location, we will host our application, our machines inside a network, right? So these services or these applications or servers in general would be accessible via that network, all right? Or you can, like, if you're a remote user, you can just VPN or make a connection to it. And then you can, access these resources, all right? So that is traditional. So the thing about traditional was everything, right? Like all of it has to be maintained. So if you are a small company, okay, or a medium-sized company, you would have to purchase all of this hardware like server racks, right? We have rack-mounted servers, we would have blade servers, then routers, firewalls, everything. You have to purchase the physical devices, then install it, like get it shipped to your location, and then fit it, maintain it, take care about security, power, backup power, and everything. Okay. So that is all your responsibility. So this comes with a lot of overhead, right? So IT overhead, you need a full team to manage maybe networking side. You would need a full team to manage the security of it. You would need a team to manage the infrastructure, right? And then other teams for backup, power failures, etc. Right? So this was the traditional model. Okay. So what happened is, it was, like I said, was a lot of overhead. So you would need a team, plus it requires a lot of capital. Obviously, you require the location where you will put it, the real estate, plus all the infrastructure. You need like a lot of investment in place first, right? So cloud like address all of this responsibility. So if you need maybe a server, maybe you need a server of I don't know, 64 GB of RAM. You might need a server of 128 GB or even more. So you can just get it provisioned in a matter of seconds. So in 30 seconds, maybe 10 seconds, 15 seconds, you can just get a new server. Whereas if you need a new server or compute power in the traditional environment, you will need to buy that server, install it, have it configured, the operating system, however the virtualization you want to do, then have it on the network, see everything is working, install your software, etc. So that's like a days of work, right? If not hours. So cloud have it like all figured out for you. So there would be Microsoft team, or if you're using AWS, Amazon team, that would be maintaining and doing this job for you. And most of it is automated. So if I'm like provisioning the server, nobody's going ahead and putting a server in the backend of Azure. It's all automated. It will just get provisioned to you. Okay. So a lot of automation went into play. A lot of software-defined networking went into play. A lot of hours and hours, maybe years of work of IT infrastructure by Microsoft or Amazon or Google went into play to make this happen. Right? So that was like the big idea of why cloud came into picture. So now if I have to define cloud, we can just say cloud computing is the delivery of computing services. So like we discussed, your servers, your databases, your networking devices, your storage, right? Everything, you could just get it over the internet. So everything you will need, you will get it in a matter of seconds, minutes. All right. Then it comes with a lot of benefits like cost. So you don't need a lot of capital in place to get you up and running. You just need it to, just provision the resources, and then if you're using it for 1 hour, you will only pay for 1 hour. If you're using it for more, you will pay for more. Okay. I see there's a question. If we complete fundamental Azure cloud, is it possible to approach cloud jobs? With fundamental, I would say it would be hard to get as a cloud, go for cloud job. Reason being, jobs require a lot of experience and at least a lot of hands-on, right? There would be customers, clients that would require you to provision infrastructure in cloud for them according to their requirement, policies, and everything. So fundamental gives you idea of what is cloud, how it works, how you can start working with it. All right. But for real world job scenarios, yeah, you would require more than that. So after 𝐊𝐲104, after this, we're gonna go with Azure Administrator, where we work with a lot of services of Azure. After that, you can easily approach for jobs. So, but not with fundamental. It is just to like giving you the overview of how you're gonna, what is cloud, and if you're completely new to cloud, it is for you then. All right. Okay. So then it gives you a lot of benefits like, cost, you don't need capital investment, speed, you can get servers provision in a matter of seconds. Global scale, if you need a server maybe in Australia or somewhere else, you can just get it there in a matter of seconds again. In real world, like traditional environment, it won't be easily possible. So then it decreases the overhead because everything is managed, most of the things is managed by, cloud provider like Azure or AWS. It gives you good performance because, these big companies have money to spare. So they can get this high-end infrastructure for you, and you will only use it for the time you are utilizing. Then reliability, of course, they have maintained the reliable solutions for you, and security, at least the physical level security, they are handling it itself. You don't have to worry about if somebody, break into Microsoft Azure data center and stole some of the drives. You don't have to worry about it. Everything is like secure from there. So every organization is using cloud in one way or another at the current atmosphere. So every, let's say you're using, your company using Outlook, your company might be using Teams. So it is all like cloud-based. You're not storing every like code or executable files on your own system. Everything is synced with cloud, either Microsoft 365 or somewhere else, but it's all using cloud in some way. Okay, so that is the simplest form. Then you're hosting services. Most of it might be in cloud. Most of it might be in your own data center. If you want to deliver it, you probably use cloud as a hosting platform setup. Right? So there's no escape for cloud in current environment. You just have to accept that cloud is there and you have to learn it. There's no other way around now. Okay. So okay, I see another question. So I am 12th science. Can I approach to learn cloud? Yeah, totally. So like I said, if you're science, if you have at least a little bit of knowledge of computers, you can work with a laptop and stuff like that. You would understand this. You can directly approach for cloud. There's no prerequisite like you need experience or something. Okay. So till now, any questions on what is cloud, benefits, or anything any one of you might have? Okay. We can keep this interactive if you, if you're willing, it would be great.
Yes, sir, I'm okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for responding. Okay then. So I hope everybody else is good as well then. So let's move on. Yes. So now public cloud leaders. So public cloud leaders. So basically the thing we saw here, the where is it? So the cloud computing services over the internet. So there are different cloud providers. We have AWS, we have Azure, where we have Google Cloud Platform, right? So which one to pick? That might be the big question. Like, is one better than other, or there would be, if I'm completely new, which one should I go with? All right. So I started with Google Cloud Platform. Okay. After that, I moved on to Amazon Web Services, AWS. And now, like for a better part of years, I'm working with Azure. Okay. So my personal preference is Azure, and there's a lot of like good reasons for it why you would want to go with Azure. Okay. You might hear that, okay, AWS is like most widely used, right? There are a couple of reasons for that as well, because AWS was the first ever cloud provider. So it came out in, I think, 2006 or 7, somewhere around that. So after a couple of years that Azure came, then after a couple of years of that, Google Cloud Platform came. Okay. So AWS was like the first one. So that's why you might see it way more. But I would say that that trend is now changing as well. Okay. So let's first discuss what is Microsoft Azure, then we will see, why you would want to pursue it. So, you know, it is a public cloud offering by Microsoft. Okay, so if you want to get those services of infrastructure or anything else, you can get that from Microsoft using Azure. So if you're getting it from Amazon, you would be using AWS. If you're getting it from Google, you will get it from GCP or Google Cloud Platform. Or nowadays they just call it Google Cloud, not really GCP. Okay. So from that, different cloud providers, what makes one or the other different? First, I would like to clear a misconception that there's not much difference. Okay. The difference is with the services they might offer. Difference might be with the integration. Okay. So all of that, it's like if you want to, let's say, host a solution, okay, you might want to host a particular kind of infrastructure in cloud. Okay. You can achieve it via this. You can achieve it via this as well as via this. Okay. So if you want to do something in this one, it is completely possible to do it in the other one, and completely possible to do it in the other one. Only thing that would be different would be, okay, this might require, 4 different services. This might require 2 different services to achieve that. This might require, again, 2 or 3, let's say. Okay. And based on your solution, based on your maybe current environment, based on your preference, then you will just pick between them. Okay. Or based on which one you are more experienced with, right? So that would be the difference, only difference you can, get it from which one you might want to use. Now, like I said, I personally prefer Azure. All right. So let's discuss why is that the case. So it is like public cloud, like any other cloud provider, like AWS or GCP. You can get those services over the internet, but using Microsoft now. Okay. So Microsoft Azure is at least by 2020 is used like 95% of Fortune 500 companies, right? So like top 500 companies you might, choose or you might want to work on, right? 95% of them are using Azure, and there are good reasons for that. And now it's like 2020, now 2022, it would be like maybe more than that, right? So you can imagine. So one of the most adopted cloud of 2022. So if we go into this one, this is by plethora. So it says that Azure has surpassed AWS on the breadth of adoption for the first time. So the companies that are completely new, they are choosing Azure more now. Okay, who are completely new to cloud or just want to migrate or starting using cloud, they are using Azure. So the biggest top companies are using Azure, of course, and the new companies are already shifting to it as well. Right? So that means a lot of job openings. So if you're experienced, you might want to work on the bigger companies, right? Then you have job openings there. And if you're completely new, who might want to work with startups, right, to learn more and more, get wide variety of skills, then again Azure is like surpassing other cloud providers nowadays. Okay, these are like the job perspective. Now, if you're already working, which one you would go for? So there's a difference of management in different cloud providers. Like with Azure, I personally, I won't say personally, like most of the engineers would prefer Azure because of the management, how it does of its resources, the naming convention and governance. Okay. Azure has a lot of security focused technologies. I would say state of the art, like Azure is the cloud provider I've seen, Microsoft in general, that focus a lot on cybersecurity. Okay. So if you're working with cloud security or big companies, small companies, security is top priority everywhere, right? So then Azure would be the best option. The security is like a lot of apart, very much apart from other cloud providers in the state. Okay. Then it also has most global regions than other cloud providers. So if I want to host some services, I can pick between different regions. So this gives me the most options. It has most global region in all across the world than any other cloud provider. So if I want to pick where I want to, put my resources, I have like most options if I'm coming to Azure. So I have like more reachability towards my audience with this one. Okay. And last but not least, hybrid integration. All right. So this is like very important. I'll tell you why. So most of the companies, at least some shape or form, have some of the infrastructure already. So like might be have a couple servers, may have just one server, may have like 3 or 4 servers, right? Or if it's a big company, they already have a lot more servers. So for that, everybody wants to make use of benefit of the cloud, right? So they have their servers already and they want to make use of cloud, let's say Azure. Okay. So they can integrate, they want to integrate. So they want to make use of their investment, which they have already done. And there's like a full control here, right? They want to control each and every aspect of their infrastructure, right? They might want to use personal servers for that and the rest of it for cloud, right? So there is a need for an integration, and this is called hybrid integration. So when you're using both your public cloud as well as your on-premise infrastructure. So this integration is very, very, we would say that important for most of the companies. All right. And Azure gives the best integration out there with other cloud from other cloud platforms. The reason being, if you have servers, right? Most of the companies, they may be using Active Directory, and most of the servers would be Windows servers. Okay, unless the application hosted and other things, but most of it gonna be like Windows, right? And the desktops that might be in your company, they would be Windows mostly, and the laptops you may get from your company for remote work, they would be most of the times Windows, right? So this is Windows by Microsoft. Most of the things here is Windows. And if you want to migrate to cloud, or maybe you are using Active Directory, migrating users, you're using some users here, right? You want to use the same users in cloud as well, then you can do it from Azure. You can do it from AWS as well. Like I said, there's an option for that, but it won't be that much seamless. It won't be like that much smooth process, or as less equipment as you want to use. Okay. So this one is also by Microsoft Azure, right? This is also by Windows, and servers and everything are by most of the things are by Microsoft, right? And many companies, most of the companies I would say are using, Teams for collaboration. They would be using Outlook. Most of the companies don't generally use Gmail or everything like that. They use Outlook for professional communication and Teams as well, right? Then there is Office 365. Okay, so those are also by Microsoft. So when you have all of these things that you're already utilizing and you are trying to migrate to the cloud, you can have a good integration between them because they are all by a same vendor or same integration. Okay. So these would, like all of it, your Microsoft 365, your Azure cloud, right, as well as your on-prem, can get integrated very well. Because they're all by same vendor, so they're same companies. They have the solution to integrate with each other very seamlessly. Okay. And then most of the companies are already using, Microsoft products. So integration is one of their top priorities. So if they want to use something, okay, it has to be as smooth as possible. It has to be consuming as less resources as possible. It should be as secure as possible. And if you're staying with one vendor, for this, obviously hybrid integration would be the best in terms of Azure. Okay. So those are the reason from job perspective, from engineering perspective, from business perspective, why you would want to pick with Azure. Okay. So any questions so far? Anyone?
Hello.
Yep.
Can you once again explain my hybrid integration?
Sorry, I can't hear you clearly. Say that again, please.
Can you please explain me hybrid integration once again?
Hybrid integration.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure. So, okay. So hybrid integration, we mean that. So what is hybrid integration mean really? Okay. So it is like making use of cloud, all right, as well as your on-premise infrastructure already. All right. So companies, like I said, most have already on-prem infrastructure, and they want to use, make use of benefits of cloud. So for that, they can integrate with each other and make use of both when needed. So for some of the technologies, let's say I need a new server, I don't want to buy it and attach it here, right? So for that, they would be needing some kind of integration. So they can maybe transfer data from here to here, or maybe some requirements would be good here, some requirements would be good here. So they need it like a seamless infrastructure, like unified infrastructure. So with that, most of the companies also have Microsoft here, right? Windows servers are very commonly used in enterprise. And most of the companies also using Outlook, right? And Microsoft Teams, everything. They're all by Microsoft again, right? Then GitHub is also Microsoft, other things as well. So when this is by Microsoft, this is by Microsoft, this is by Microsoft, you can integrate them very well. Okay. And that is like the benefit, I would say, one of the benefit of Azure. So when most of the things are by same company, they have the solution to have them integrate as seamless as possible. And that is good from business perspective as well as engineering perspective.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome.
So one question I have, sir. As you said, it's better to use Microsoft because like Outlook, Teams, even you say GitHub, it's all Microsoft. Then why would I be using Oracle or maybe like some other technology? Like as you say, like Oracle is like very famous as well, or even IBM. So why would any company will be using Oracle or IBM in that sense? Because it's always better to move with Azure.
Right. So like you're talking about IBM Cloud and Oracle Cloud, right?
Yeah, because I understand Google is like very big, even AWS, because they're the first one who came in this market, so they are very popular these days.
Right.
So if I have to pick, maybe I will pick Azure will be my first choice, then maybe Google Cloud or AWS. But why would I ever pick IBM Cloud or Oracle in that sense?
Right. So that I would say totally depends on client requirement. Okay. So basically, most of the times you would be working on things, you would have clients, right? And there might be some services like IBM QRadar, right? And there are a lot of services that are specific to the vendors. And if your on-prem systems have those, right? And if you want to migrate them, then you might want to go with maybe IBM Cloud, right? Maybe Oracle Cloud, maybe Google Cloud. But again, like I said, it's better to go with the one that are more trusted, right? That are been in the market for longer period of time, right? Because they have listened to the feedback, people have faced issues and they have made their work around it. So documentations and everything on the internet is like very good for this. So I would say only thing I can think of, they started with IBM first, maybe. Okay, they are already using IBM Cloud, maybe they are already using Oracle Cloud, maybe they're already using Google Cloud. Then there doesn't make much sense to shift like whole infrastructure to some other cloud provider, right? So that would be one reason why companies want to stick with them. And the second would be I can think of is, yeah, the only thing they require, the client required, is it can only be found on the certain cloud provider. Then you might want to go pick them, right? Instead of migrating everything to Azure and figure out how this thing's going to work here, right? It's better to just go with the OEM.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thanks for your response.
Awesome. Okay. Any other questions? Anyone? Okay. I hope everything is good. Okay. So 𝐍𝐸900. Okay. So after this, we're just gonna, this is the end of slides. We're gonna move on to the, see what are the different certifications, everything is there. So 𝐍𝐸900 is the fundamental certifications. The name is Azure Fundamentals. Okay. It covers like 3 of the concepts in general, like domains. First would be the cloud concepts, the basics of cloud. Then it will need you to understand like what is Azure architecture, how it's built, what can you use. And then it would be the, what are the Azure management and governance services. Okay. So these are like 3 major domains as 𝐍𝐸900 is divided in. So before worrying about this too much, let's just discuss what are the, what we say, certifications are offered by Azure first. Okay. So if I just go here, okay, you should be able to see a whiteboard. Okay. So this is like a small, I have made a categorization for Azure or Microsoft certifications. Okay. So Microsoft certifications are divided into 3 categories. First would be fundamental, then we have associate, and then we have expert. So this would be like the theoretical type of exams most of the time. Theoretical. This like requires you to have theoretical knowledge. Okay. And associate level, they require you to have the, what we say, hands-on level. So you need hands-on experience on this. Okay. Experience. And finally, it requires you to the expert level, that is like the advanced one. So this is like beginner, then intermediate, then advanced. The hands-on expert level require you to have like a business level experience or solution level experience. So you have to work with like around 4 to 5 years. They like give you some of the idea of this much years of experience you would need with Azure, with client handling or migration or other stuff. Okay. I mean, like you need experience, or I can say just like a real world experience. Okay. Like working on businesses. So certifications are obviously beneficial. Hope everybody knows that if I get maybe I'm a recruiter, right? I got 2 resumes. I saw one of them that says, okay, their skill is Azure administration. Okay, fine by me. I got another resume who have certified by Azure administrator, let's say 𝐍104. Okay. So I guess it's obvious that which one would be selected or shortlisted for the interview. One which is certified, right? One who says, then I will take an interview, then I will, test it, does he even know what he says. Whereas other one has proved himself by sitting in a 2.5-hour exam, and it has scored more than 70% in the syllabus of it, right? And I know, okay, even if he doesn't know everything about Azure administrator, at least he would know around 60-70%, right? And that would be like good enough for me than somebody who I might want to, check, and then he might not know, as much as I expect him to be, right? So in that case, certifications will give you a lot of benefits in getting shortlisted. Okay. As well as it lets you pass the HR requirements, because HR get the requirements from hiring managers. Okay, give me these one who are certified, the better. So they will shortlist the ones who are certified anyways. Okay. So those are like benefits of getting yourself certified. Plus, there are some clients who want people on their projects who are certified only. So they don't want anybody who is not certified by Microsoft itself. Okay. So in those cases, that will open some doors for you as well. And so, like I said, Microsoft certifications are divided into 3 parts. All right. And most of them are fundamentals, associate, and not most of them, like these are only 3. We have fundamental, associate, and expert. So beginner, intermediate, and expert level. So these are one that requires you to theoretical knowledge. So 𝐍𝐸900, most people start here who are completely new to cloud or completely new to Azure even. And if you have a little bit of experience working in IT, so like, okay, what is a compute, what is a storage, what is a DNS maybe, right? A little bit of networking as well, prerequisite. You can like skip this one or go to this one as well. Okay. However, we have made this workshop like, if you are completely new, you have these 5 days where I'm going to cover like most of the 𝐍𝐸900. It's 5 hours only. We can't go like, each and every step by step because it's very much theoretical, right? But it will give you like good experience with Azure. So you can, start working with it, start experimenting it by yourself and get ready to be join, maybe, get ready to enhance your knowledge to be an Azure administrator. And after that, you can like go for Azure related jobs, Azure admin jobs, or cloud engineer jobs. All right. So that's the whole point. So this one would ask you like multiple choice questions where you would require you to have the basic knowledge of cloud and basic knowledge of Azure. Then you can move on to AZ104 that requires you to have hands-on experience with Azure services, a lot of infrastructure related services and everything. Okay. And then you can either want to specialize, maybe you want to go with cloud security, you can go with AZ500 then. Okay. If you want to go into Azure core security, you can go with either of these 3. They're like Microsoft security in detail, okay, like more depth security. Okay. You might want to go with cloud network engineering. So you can go with this one, AZ700. Okay. So cloud security is again very much in demand. Cloud engineers are already in demand, right? So like, and after that, if you want to go with the solution architect, you already have some experience, you might want to go with the expert level examination. So even after this, you can go with this one. Okay. So this is the Azure solution architect expert. Okay. So the key point here is to note, most people, if you're completely new, you will start with this one. Okay. I won't suggest you to, if you want to give this 𝐍𝐸900, that's up to you. You can completely give it. It would be better if you give it, right? You would have experience with Azure. But if you don't want to, separately give another exam, or you just want to, get one that, matters much more in the market, you might want to go with AZ104 directly. Okay. And that's completely fine. I have students who were completely new to cloud and they started with this batch directly, and now they're certified after the batch. Okay, after the training. So that is like I said, this is not a hard prerequisite for it. Okay, so you can like get the knowledge of it and then start with this one, or you can like pick and choose. So if you want to go with this one first, you can, or if you want to go with directly this one, that's fine as well. Okay. And but the thing about it is this one holds the base of a lot of things like cloud security, cloud networking engineering, maybe cloud development, all of it. This one has to be covered first, at least the knowledge of this one. Okay, Azure administrator. And then you can, this is not a hard requisite for these. Okay, so you can go with any of the associate level exam if you want first. All right. So if you don't want to go with this one, maybe you already got the knowledge of this, or you want to then go with this one, you can probably. Okay. But if you go directly with this one without the knowledge of this one, okay, now it's gonna give you a hard time a little bit. All right. But if you want to go with expert level exam, then you have to give this one. So this is like a prerequisite then, official. So you first have to clear this, then only you can sit in this exam. Okay, so expert level have hard prerequisite, associate level doesn't have any prerequisite, any hard prerequisite. Okay, but it's better if you have this knowledge. Okay, so that's like the certification, but then there is a lot of other certification. AZ400 is DevOps, then SC100 is cybersecurity architect expert. This is security operations. This is identity and access administrator, stuff like that. Okay, so these are like a lot of specialized certifications. Then. Right. So this would be like a certification path. Generally, your company might want you to take, or you might want to take for yourself. Okay. Any questions so far? Yes, no?
Hello.
Anyone?
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. In this course, we cover the Azure 900 both, no?
In this course, yeah. So for first 5 days, we're gonna cover the AZ900. Okay. And then
Okay.
from Monday, we're gonna move on to the uh, you know, the AZ104. So like
Okay.
if somebody who wants to, modify it or convert it into AZ104, they can convert it from Monday as well.
Okay.
Okay.
Both we are covering this course.
Yeah. If you're enrolled, yeah, both of it, like daily, every day we're gonna move on.
Okay.
Okay.
Every day recorded video will be uploaded in portal, no? If any
Yeah, videos.
classes.
Right. Videos will be uploaded for you.
Okay.
Any other questions, guys?
Hello, sir.
All good? Yeah.
I want to know if I want to do want to be a Azure DevOps engineer. So, which courses is mandatory for that?
For Azure DevOps Engineer. Okay, so Azure DevOps Engineer, let me just show you where you can find that as well. It would be better for you guys too. So for Azure DevOps Engineer, you need AZ104 as well. So you should be able to see browser. I'm just gonna go with google.com. Okay. And you just have to search for it. So let's say I want to get information on AZ900. I'll just do AZ900. Okay. And then this is the first, what is a link you will get by learn.microsoft.com. And this is the portal where you get information about it. Okay. And Azure DevOps Engineer is AZ400. Okay. If you don't know the code, you can just search for Azure DevOps Engineer. Okay. And I'll open this. And again, the first one, this is an expert level exam. All right. But if I scroll down, you can say you see the path. So you can either give Azure Administrator, that is AZ104 first, or you can do Azure Developer Associate, that is AZ204. Okay. So either 104 or 204, you have to be certified first. After that, you can give the exam for it. That is this one, AZ400, and then you will get certified for it.
So,
Okay.
104 is mandatory. Certification is mandatory, na? From
Yeah, so
Microsoft.
yeah. So either 104 or 204, both. You can like pick between either one of them.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So after that, you have to give another exam for AZ400. All right.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah.
Before Office 65 is first we can learn Office 65, go for Azure, or Azure. After learning Azure, we can go for Office 65, which is a better option.
Better option, I would say both are different. Okay, so either you want to go with Microsoft 365 first, that's completely fine. If you want to go with Azure first, that's completely fine as well. So they're like complement to each other. So one, if you know, other one gonna help. Okay, so it's not
Okay.
like you can like one gonna help in another one, or one gonna have something to do with the other one. So if you know any of them first, it's completely fine.
Okay. First, you can go for the Azure, and then we can, if possible, you can learn the Office 65 is better as per your
Right.
suggestion.
Right. So you can go with after this as well, Microsoft 365. That's completely fine.
Okay.
Okay. Right. Anyone else? Any other question? All right. So similarly, if I just search for AZ, let's do AZ900 again. And if I open the first link, so this is the exam for it, and this is the certification. If I just click on this, so you have the certification logo, Microsoft Certified Azure Fundamentals. If I go back, you have this one, AZ900 Study Guide. So if I just open this, it's going to open a PDF, and it will give you information about the AZ900 exam. Okay, and you can see here it has like 1, 2, and 3 domains in general. Okay, so this is like a lot more of the AZ900 is, like I said, fundamental. It requires a lot of theoretical knowledge. That's why you see a lot of this stuff here. Okay, whereas if you go, so you can see here as well, it says a lot of the time here, describe, right? It doesn't need you to expect you to implement stuff. So it will give you scenario based questions, and then you can just suggest that, okay, this might be the service they might be talking about. Okay, they might ask you, what does this service do? Then you can pick and choose. Whereas if I go to any associate level exam, let's just go to AZ400. Sorry, that's expert AZ104. Okay, so open the first one, and if I click on study guide here, it for you. And if I scroll down to skills measured, so you can see here it says create, manage, it says configure, apply, and then again generate, configure, implement, stuff like that. So here you have like, it requires you to have hands-on experience on all of this. Okay, so again, this is something we're going to start from Monday, next Monday, the coming one. And this one where we would have the knowledge, we need like at least a little bit of knowledge that we will cover in these 5 days, and then we can start and start creating users, managing this, manage firewalls, a lot of the stuff, servers and everything. Okay. With 900, it's just theoretical, so we will be just like learning about different services and how they would be helpful for different scenarios and features. All right. Anything else? Any other question, guys?
How the practical will do?
Practical, yeah. So most of the practical, like I said, will start from AZ104, because that's the one that requires you to have practical knowledge. AZ900 requires you to have only theoretical knowledge. Okay, so
Yes.
however, I'm gonna squish in a lot of practical here as well. Okay, so wherever I can get time, or if I think, okay, doing something will show you much better stuff, so that we will do practical here as well. It won't be like as much as like every day, but yeah, we're gonna do at least some of it in these 5 days. Okay, all right. Okay, so
We can
we have
we can enroll Azure. Azure means we can both will cover 900 and 104.
sorry, say that again.
We can enroll Azure batch means it will cover both 900 and 104, both will cover
I think so. I think if you enroll in the first one, it will cover the 900 the first week, and I think you have to upgrade it or enroll in the second one, AZ104. That's different.
And this which you are now the batch batch is going on now. That is both are once.
Yeah, the current one, I think this is for just workshop 900, AZ900 workshop. That is 1 week. Then I think you have to upgrade it or just talk to the consultant at networking. They will upgrade it for you.
Okay.
If you want to continue like after this workshop. Okay, so this is like 5 days workshop only. Okay.
Okay.
Okay then. So we have 10 minutes left, so I'm just going to cover a little bit of basics of cloud. So we have at least from tomorrow we're going to move on to build upon that. So now we have discussed what is cloud, right? We discussed Azure certification path, which one you want to go, etc. So we should know what is cloud, right? So cloud computing. that is nothing but providing infrastructure to your enterprise or your for personal use, wherever, however you want to use it. So let's say I have a requirement of hosting a web application. Okay. So I want to host a web application. Either I can do it, like build my own server at my home, then get a maybe public IP for it. And then I might want to get a DNS, maybe, networkings.com or something. And then I have to point it there, the IP, and then whichever server I have will be exposed to internet. Then my users can use it. Okay. Then again, I would need to worry about the networking, right? I need to worry about the, what you say, power and backup, right? Then the security, obviously, if it's like, any additional port is open, that is my responsibility as well. And then the thing is, something fails, recovery, I have to worry about that as well. All right, so that's one way of doing it. Other than that, what I can do, just provision one server in cloud, okay, and just put my application there and just expose it to the internet. All right, and then I can have this application in maybe in India, and if I have some users in maybe Australia, right, I can put one server there as well with connectivity with each other. So users from India can get that application here. Users from Australia can get that application here. Okay, so they would have like better latency as well. So the request has to travel far, doesn't have to travel much far. So the speed would be better, the response time would be much better, right? There I can like use a different region and just provision my servers anywhere in the world. Okay, that's like the couple of benefits, and I don't have to manage it. The physical level security, the power and backup, the networking or recovery, right? Everything we can just configure it and Azure will manage for it. Any coding knowledge required? No, you don't require any coding knowledge here. So this is like more of a infrastructure side management as well as networking a little bit, but in cloud. So we're not developing applications. We're just needing to understand the service where we'll be putting the applications, maybe something else as well. Okay. So you don't require any coded knowledge for this course. All right. Okay, so that is cloud computing. Now, there are different types of cloud models that you will see in environments. Okay, we call them cloud deployment models. Okay, and what are these is how you want to use cloud. So for that, we basically have three different models how we use it. So one would be your public cloud. Okay, then we have private, and then we have hybrid. You want to call it cloud or etc. You can. Okay. So public cloud. Is there a question? Yes. There's a background noise. Sorry. Okay. So if you have any question, you can unmute yourself. Again, there was just a background noise. So I have to unmute you. Okay. So there's first cloud deployment model that you will see is public cloud. Okay. So this one is the one where you are only using the public cloud like the AWS or Azure or Google Cloud. So where you are only using the public cloud providers for your needs. Okay. So let's say I am a small company, right? I don't want to start or purchase the infrastructure, then put it somewhere and then start working with it. So for that, I can just make use of cloud and only pay for however time I'm using the resources, right? So in that case, where all my infrastructure or my workload is in cloud, that kind of deployment model is called public cloud. So if some companies are using public cloud only, that means they have their infrastructure, everything in cloud. They don't have any physical infrastructure. Okay. And then we have private cloud, which is like the opposite of it. This means only using on-prem or on-premise infra. So when you have your networking devices, your servers and everything in the on-prem locations. So everything you will be managing yourself. So power, security, uptime and everything, you're managing everything. So you're not using public cloud at all. So that would be considered as private cloud. Whereas the third one is the one you will see the most. Okay. And like I said, no company is only using private, having their own infrastructure. Most of them, I would say, there might be some. And then hardly there would be any company that would be only using public. Small companies might be. Okay. So most of the companies you will see or work with will be using this deployment model, that is hybrid cloud. Whereas they would have some servers in on-prem, okay, the networking a little bit of it, VPN maybe, and then the rest of it, they will be using this. So we have like the speed benefit, we have cloud deployment benefit, a lot of the benefits in cloud. So they will be using and integrating them with each other. That's up to them if they want to integrate them privately or not. But they would have servers here, they would have workloads here, some workload here, some workload here. Okay. And some client they might be, serving from here, some client they might be serving from here. Okay. And internally they would be using both of them. And then this is the nothing but combination of public and your combination of public and private model, right? So that is your hybrid cloud, and this is like the most common. Okay. So these are like 3 deployment models you will see. So that's up to you based on your requirement, your client requirement. You can have experience with each of these, and you might see a lot of people who are working with infra. They are considered as private cloud, and people who are only working with public, they are considered as public cloud deployments, and the one which are most common, which would be hybrid cloud. Okay. And this would be accessible, public cloud would be accessible for the internal network, okay, internal company or partner companies, right? There would be partner companies, associations, you might want to give them access as well. So that would be that. This would be for, for public as well as partner use, and this would be same. So that's that. Okay. So this is cloud. This is some cloud deployment models. And I guess from tomorrow, we will cover some more cloud benefits as well as, some important things. And then we will move on with the curriculum. Okay.
So I have a query.
Yeah.
If any company have his private infrastructure, na, then we will call it private cloud.
We will call it private cloud if they are using private infrastructure only. So if they're not using Azure or AWS or anything, then it's called private cloud.
Okay.
So they have private infrastructure, but they're only using that for all their needs. They're not using any public cloud provider. Okay. So then that infrastructure or thing is called as private cloud.
So
Because
for public cloud, we can say Azure and like AWS is a public, and for
Right.
private infrastructure, we will call it private, and both
Right.
we are using. Then it is a hybrid. No?
Hybrid. Right. Exactly.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Yep. All right. Any other question? Anyone else? Okay. Okay. So today was like quite basic, I guess, and yeah, a couple of days might be like that, but we're gonna move on to sooner and sooner on this. So yeah, we will build upon the concepts from tomorrow. It's the same time, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. at least for till Friday. And yeah, if you have any questions, you can ask. If not, I guess we can wrap up for today.
Sir, when 104 will start?
104 will start from Monday.
Okay.
So like this 5-day workshop is for 𝐊𝐲900. Okay. And then from Monday, we're going to move on to the 104 course.
The timing will be 8 p.m. No?
Yeah, 8 p.m. For from 𝐊𝐲104, it might be 8 p.m. to 9:30. Like for 𝐊𝐲900, it's 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Right? From
Okay.
that, it might be 1.5 hour class daily from next Monday.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else? So is it like is my pace fine? Can you understand me, or do you want me to change something for rest of the sessions, or is it fine for everyone? Were you able to understand me?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay then. Thank you. So I'll see you guys tomorrow, same time, 8 p.m. and we'll continue on the concepts. Right? Okay then. Take care,
Thank you.
guys.
Thanks for your time.
Thank
Good
you.
night, sir.